Warning. The following program is a collection of dudes just talking about the happenings in the CrossFit world. It's just meant to be comedically informative. The opinions, especially those of JY, Lil Johnny, do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of the other people on the show. If you take things out of context, just please reconsider watching. That's all. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Spins, November 27th. It is John's
I
coming.
wish people could see the back end.
I think people will thank me for bringing John onto the stage right now. Happy Thanksgiving Eve for everybody here in the States. If you're not, well, it's just another Wednesday and we are back. CK Kevin, I am so here for this. Let's go. Heavy Seventh is second.
Heavy seventh.
Tooth. Jump ship. I am so ready. Tyler's been on a roll, 100%. Vindicate. I think there might be some barbell spin shirts still out there, so go check out vindicate.com.
Either way, or buy he's got ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, buy something from Vindicate. Good dude. 10 burpees every time John says frickin'.
Do I say that a lot?
Apparently.
Frickin', you do say it a lot. I don't hate it.
Keeping it real is here. He's excited. Drunk Pedro. Absolutely. Colton, the best intro ever.
I really like the Pedro one. Drunk Pedro.
Yeah, it's a good one. Are there any left, John?
There is. Believe it or not, there are still JY barbell shirts available in every size too. You just go to my Instagram. There's a mustard seed crochet little thing there that will take you to where they are. Also new to the mustard seed crochet is
the
Grinch. Okay, get your
Those
very
are
own
pretty cool.
Grinch. And there's two models. She'd be so proud of me. I'm selling the crap out of this. This one has the little heart, and then this one is obviously the Grinch that stole Christmas. So if you want to get you a Grinch, go to Mustard Seed Crochet. It's on my Instagram. The link's on my Instagram. Go in there and get it up. But after you get a JY barbell shirt, okay, we might figure out a discount where you can get both of them at some kind of like discount. We might figure that out. But
extra sloppy. We need some crochet JY t-shirts.
That would be expensive. And itchy. I don't think you want that.
Why does everything happen on Wednesday? Tyler?
Dude, I will say we're on a roll.
This wasn't our doing.
Yeah, John and I are out of the limelight. It's all Tyler.
No. I don't even think it was Tyler's doing. I think this is not to be insensitive, but dumb.
Maybe so. We'll get into that for sure. We'll talk about, because Tyler and I, we talked through all the games changes. John, we haven't had a chance to get your thoughts on it. We'll definitely weigh in on all of the 400 plus comments that you've received on your post, Tyler. You're quickly approaching as many followers as you have on posts.
I drove 2.5 hours from Bloomington into Kentucky today, and my phone never stopped vibrating the entire time.
Did you enjoy it like the first 20 minutes? Like you're like, look how freaking famous I am. And then you hated it, right?
We'll get into it when we get to that.
Oh, look who joined us, Audrey.
I know Chase might be mad, but I'm famous. That's what Tyler said.
We'll talk about what we think about Sanctionals, what we've heard so far. We got some Thanksgiving edition blind
that
rankings.
Dopamine must have been unreal.
100%. let's get into some viewer comments because we are ready to. That's right. We're going to burn it down today all day long. We're so excited. Just like PC. First one, Legacy Communications. I'm actually glad the games, cut the elites down to 30. They gone woke. Always cutting CrossFit down to take.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
They cut the elites down. They going woke. CrossFit trying to take down over the company or shut it down. Now unions, what a joke. Just more division. It's cool. CrossFit is taking the games away from elites. Most of them need to move on. They giving CrossFit a bad rap.
I understand some of the sentiment of that. I am not happy that they cut down from 40 to 30. 40 was a sacred number for me. I thought 40 was the most appropriate. I don't care what politics are involved. I don't think that they should have cut from 40 to 30.
They cut the 40 to 30 on Saturday night anyway, or Saturday, so it's fine.
Which they also shouldn't do. But
this makes me think, what would cuts look like? Are we still cutting it down? Are we cutting it down to 10?
We're gonna cut it down to 5 and then just do 5 after Thursday. Yeah, there's a lot to take in there. I don't know about the 30. We'll find out.
I'm more of a let's see what it looks like kind of a with the 30
per your new usual stance.
And what Sarah's saying, isn't it at least 30? That's a good question because it was initially framed by Dave on the affiliate call as there's 30. We don't know the split between Sanctionals and the Open or the in-affiliate semifinals. And then what they've published on social media said at least 30. So, I don't know. We'll find out.
Kevin, I'm in Shelbyville, so I'm right outside of Louisville.
Isn't it Shelbyville?
No, that's just Louisville.
AJ Power. Good move from HQ linking games money to open registration. This will quickly highlight to the elites that don't go near an affiliate where their support comes from, or doesn't, as the case may be. If they know best, set up their own comps like Morad is.
So I feel like this is a common misconception with as far as like money goes. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Hiller highlighted this in his video.
Right.
But it costs what, $20 to the open, $25 to the open?
$20
to the open.
For now.
So
we know of.
let's say there's 300,000. There was like 350 last year that did the open. So if there's 300,000 times 20, that's $6 million. So if the prize pool, if we go back and look at what the prize pool was last year, it was north of $3 million. This is actually way more money that is going to come to the games as far as the prize pool goes. If open registration stays at 300,000, right?
And they only use it for the money pool.
Sure. And I mean, I kind of think it'll probably go to fund the games too. Like the whole thing is, whatever they make from the open, that's whatever's spent on the games. Right. Like, so, but it's way more money than people think. It's not less is what I'm saying. It's not less.
Yo.
I just said that, Nick. So if you could just chill out on the keyboard for like 10 more seconds, you would have been on the same page.
The yo killed me.
He's actually very good at the Heat 1 app. Nick is. He's always up there.
The real Chad call doesn't say 100% goes to the prize purse. True. I don't think it's going to be cut more as significantly as people think. But we'll see. I mean, it was very just vague, right? Like it was like, hey, the Open's going to fund the prize purse. We don't know. Like details still.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
That's right.
You know how there's that business methodology, profit first or something like that. And what if they do? Like they just pay the athletes first and then they build the games off the remaining budget.
All we got left is the 4-H center in Lexington, Kentucky. Enjoy.
Hey, it's a good spot.
Yeah. I don't know if I wanted to read this one, but I figured why not. Banana Dance Man, this was coming out. This will sound
And-
insensitive, but HQ no longer deserves the support of the community. Berkshire needs to lose its money. It needs a reboot from the ground up. Stop supporting HQ. T. I don't know who T is.
That was me.
Tyler's Banana Dance Band.
Well, you can leave, brother. You don't got to be around. Bye.
Do you want to treat this one as a segue, or do you want to do more comments? Because that one's a good segue.
I got more comments, but that's where we're going.
If you want to be here, then don't be here.
Come bring that one back before we segue.
All right. Jodo, as an everyday CrossFitter that follows everything CrossFit, I feel like I want to unfollow everybody and just continue doing CrossFit as a method to keep my health, and that's it. Because what is happening in the space is just sad. CrossFit as a sport is not fun anymore. I was thinking about this a little bit, maybe the last week. If we didn't have the sport,
what the fuck would we do?
I just think if we didn't have this, if we didn't have the sport, regardless of us. So, like, I guess if you enjoy listening to us, you're fans of our show, we're not going to be around. If they're like the sport's what keeps us. What are we going to talk about? Hey guys, Jessica got 1330 on the workout today.
Yeah, do you see .com?
She RX'd it. She pressed that button. She's killing it. No, there's not, if you like listening up, we're not going to be around if there's no sport. Talking Elite Fitness ain't going to be around. I mean, they're kind of not around anyway now, but you understand. There's nobody's going to be around. Every single Sevon show is going to be politics and COVID. It's not. There's no more CrossFit. Do you want that? Nobody wants that. The guy that was on the 18th parallel of the lunar eclipse guy is going to be a regular on the show. That guy's going to be a regular on the show. Some people are into it, but
act accordingly.
I would argue a lot of people aren't. So that's what happens if there's no sport, right? The community, you want to get better, to see if you're getting fitter. The Open is supposed to be a marker of, am I getting fitter year after year after year? It's not supposed to be the best of the best of the best. It is to see how far you've come in a year. That is what the Open is supposed to be. And then on top of it, you get to do the same workout that the best in the world do. That goes away because that's a part of the sport. Nobody cares about the Open if it's not leading to the games. So then there's nothing to look forward to. You just go to a gym and work out. Sure, it's a different type of working out, but then essentially your F45, your Orange Theory with weights. You're just another thing. There's nothing bigger. It's just a gym you work out at. And that's way, way, way different than what CrossFit stands for, what CrossFit is trying to lead to, what CrossFit wants to build.
Think about how disconnected you'd feel if tomorrow we woke up and there was zero competition. Whether it's CrossFit Games, whether it's Willie's Fitness Project.
Guys, there's no more mountain.
Anything. There's no more mountain.
What would we do without the mountain? What would I do without the mountain?
You would just be making mountains of stupid shit. Best mashed potatoes.
Yeah. What state would win in a war? That's what I would do. Okay. And there'd be a lot of controversy.
The answer to that question.
Texas.
It's Texas.
We go. Texas. We're on the right side. You're our Kentucky's our first alliance.
Right. Tennessee. I remember in 2014 or 2015, we just got done with the Open, and it was my second season of sort of, going through everything. And I was like, well, what the hell do I do now? There's just nothing. There was no, you had regionals to look forward to, but then it was just I just continued to train. I hadn't started competing as an athlete, but there's no tie-in with the community anymore besides the community in your gym, which is great. But sometimes you want to venture out and you want to experience more of all of us in one space. And that is one place that I think CrossFit, there's all this talk of the games, separating the games and doing more for the affiliates and all of that. But Like they're not delivering on that. Like if there were an event like where health speakers would come up and like we could learn stuff as CrossFitters, hey, what are we going to do this next year? Like, what are we thinking about? What are the things that are on the horizon? That would be dope, but we don't have anything like that.
Yeah, no, it would be all these people that you talk to online, everybody that watches us, all the community going to the games, meeting people. It's gone, right? Like you're literally back to the community inside your four walls and maybe going to a local competition. But at the end of the day, we turn into a different variation of F45.
Yeah.
Right. F45 with barbells. Tyler,
I started that one.
I'd listen to John and Tyler talk politics. You could listen to them talk about sports betting this Friday night.
There we go.
That's what you
can
do.
Yeah.
Friday
Get
night.
'em.
I started that. There is a guy at my gym who he has told me himself he is a Marxist and he's also a law student. He's getting ready to get his law degree. And we have fantastic conversations about politics. They're amazing because we're both giving on that side. It's just interesting to me that a guy like that exists. So maybe we'll let John come in and have his.
I'm good, man. That's all you guys. I'm totally fine.
Jeremy World, dude, you can have a hell of a lot highlighting stories inside affiliates.
Good luck, bro. I'm not gonna watch one of them. I'm telling you right now. I don't care how motivational anybody is. I want to see who the fittest man and woman are in the world.
What does it turn into? What's the big sky? Like we just do big sky events like every now and again?
I don't even think you do that. Who are you going to invite?
Dan Bailey.
Right. Athletes. I didn't know this. Savon, the CrossFit athletes have their own 4B movement. Did not know that.
John doesn't know what 4B is.
I know what 4B is.
Oh, okay.
That's where the girls that nobody wants to be with anyway doesn't get with anybody, right?
Yeah. Seth from Jump Ship, he owns, I think, half of the affiliates around Arizona. I don't know. The vast majority of my members across all 5 locations don't care about competing, but they love their daily hour of CrossFit.
I'm telling you, it will I honestly, I think that's the majority of CrossFitters in America. I believe that will get watered down without the sport. As a whole, everybody will get less fit.
Yeah, yes. And that's good. Like my gym's like that. They don't most don't even know that I do this show. I think we counted for fun one day and I think there was like 5 people who even knew that I did this show.
I mean, most of my gym doesn't know I did the show. I have people all the time in my gym are saying like, my brother said you have a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on a couple. Like it's just something I do with myself. Like, I
got about 8.
Yeah.
8 podcasts I'm on. But we need more than that. Like, and back to Spin's point, we just turned into F45. Like, it's fun to work out, but to me, the mission of CrossFit was always much larger than just having people work out.
Well, I mean, I think that's unfortunately the message that's being sent out though by HQ right now is the only message is go to your gym and work out, right? Like we've lost the discussion of health on top of the discussion of just going to your gym and growing and having more people do CrossFit. Okay, that's great. But there was a lot more that Greg used to say that drew you into what CrossFit was. It did not become a cult because we went to the gym. There's way more into that. Let's see. Gracie Lou watched watched Grid for the first time because of us. Also never tried Olipop, but decided to order it to support us. So thank you, Gracie Lou.
Thank you, Gracie. And I want to add on to the part where like I think it will water down fitness as a whole in regular CrossFit gyms. Like the sport, I do think for the majority of CrossFit, like over 50%, nobody cares. Over 50% of the people who do CrossFit don't care at all. at all about the sport. Don't even know who Jeff Adler is. Don't know who Matt Fraser is. It's fine. But the sport shows people what is possible. And then the people that care about the sport, those people are better when they see what's possible. Just like when Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile the first time, like before everybody thought it was impossible. And then he did it. And then like 10 years later, we got like 30 people who could do it. But then that comes down to now you got high schoolers that are trying to like get that type of speed, right? And then that transforms to like your runners who know, or just runners, your soccer moms that just like to run are running 6-minute miles for a 5K, right? The really, really good ones. But then their friends that run with them but aren't as good, they see what's possible with that 6-minute mile girl like Janet, who's just better than everybody, freaking Janet. And then they're running 7-minute miles, right? And then the bad runners, right? Teresa, who's 200 pounds but wants to get into running, can run a sub 10-minute mile because she's used to running with Teresa and Janet. Like you see, but it all trickles down from the elite to the just getting into it. Like in your regular gym, they look like they see what's possible by the best person at your gym. And they're not comparing themselves to that person at all, but they see what's possible.
They may not even know. Like,
right.
We didn't do dumbbell snatches 15 years ago, right? But then the elite started programming it. Like bar muscle ups were not that big of a thing. Elite started doing it.
2017.
Like handstand walking, right? Like those things did not start happening until the games athletes started doing it. It trickles down slowly till you have regular gym goers who are like, oh, I'm going to like, they might not even know why they are doing it, but the gym owner may have started incorporating that into it. If they never saw people handstand walking, like in CrossFit, they may never program it. They may never actually.
It would have never came about. And the sport is evolving, like year after year. Like the fittest in the world are so much fitter than they were 5 years ago, and that trickles down. To everybody. It's just like programming. When you program for the best, and then you scale for the rest, and like it all trickles down. It's exactly how Greg Glassman wanted it to be. And then I know he didn't like the sport at all, but the best of the best sees everybody else sees what's possible. And then your community sees what's possible.
Well, think about,
and then you're the freak in your friend group. Like freaking, like if you're bad at CrossFit in your gym, but you're the freak person in your friend group that nobody else does CrossFit. If you just do what everybody else does and you're just there to get fit, the majority, Nick, don't make me get pissed off here, Nick. The majority. Stop it right now. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna delete you if you do that again, Nick. I swear. Magnus still isn't back. We should bring Magnus back, by the way. I don't know how to do it. If you can bring him back. I feel
I've been in timeout long enough. It's
been a while. I mean, it's been on my mind. Magnus Holmgren. I remember his name. But that's what I'm saying. There's a trickle down effect everywhere for the world. There's a trickle down effect for anything.
Yeah. I saw Natalie said something about, when you say elites, don't you really mean Dave? Without the sport, there is no Dave.
Dave's
right?
not Dave's not elite. That's not
no, but I think she means like when we talk about the elite, like that's where it's coming from. But like, as silly as it sounds, how often did dumbbells get utilized in CrossFit gyms before 2017?
Never. I remember watching, what was that guy's name? He's a Mexican guy, and he's from Kentucky. I remember watching him figure out how to do Darwin. I remember watching him figure out how to switch hands midair. And that was like revolutionary. I was like, I'm going to save like 2 minutes on this workout because of this. That's how bad we were at dumbbells. We never use them. Bench press every now and again. I never did deadlifts with dumbbells. Like even the most simple movements, like we didn't do them. Thrusters with dumbbells in 2014, people would have been like, you're out of your freaking mind. We're not doing thrusters with dumbbells.
Right. And it all came from the sport. Janet.
Was that an accidental click?
No, I don't know. Kyle Dotson. Tyler made a point the other day about Barstool Sports. That is what CrossFit is missing. All the raw, authentic behind the scenes.
There's
We're trying, Kyle. We're trying.
well, I mean HQ. We
HQ
don't know.
want it.
They have to. Here's the thing. They did that pre-2018. We knew who people were who worked at HQ, and now we don't know anybody. We do. They don't. And that's the thing. Like,
yeah, think about the gym, and you would see Marston and Heber go work out, and then you bring somebody
Right.
with them and work out, or Rory or Boz. Dave even did workouts with, Dave Lipson and others. And they were kind of doing that. Like, you didn't really think about it. Like, it wasn't as in your face as what Barstool does with their office, like, stuff. But they had a headquarters. Like, they had people come in. They did stuff with them. Like, it drew people into what that was. Yeah, Roe versus Boz. That was great.
Mhm.
There,
I wanted to add, like, there is this religious aspect to what we do. I was talking about it on Susan's podcast that CrossFit is church. If you've never seen that video with Greg, like, look it up right after this show. It's an amazing. He is at Harvard divinity school, and he talks about the overlaps between religion or church and CrossFit and how CrossFit services all those things. And we're not being serviced in any sort of those religious senses except for in the affiliates. And you need more than that from the overguiding body that is CrossFit.
Yeah. Audrey, I'm with Jake Chapman and probably with Tyler. I don't want more people doing CrossFit anymore. And that brings
I want everybody to do it.
That brings us to Tyler. That's right. We're going to burn it down. Tyler is trying to anyway.
That's what happens with Tyler's trash. When I get too much, you got to take it outside and you got to burn it.
That's right. Augustus, JY, what should my wife bike at? And what's the goal?
For the workout, Augustus?
I have no idea. It's $1.99, so just say something.
Well, I mean, like, clarify for the work. I don't know what you mean. What your wife should buy? Oh, clarify if it's the workout, and I'll say it.
Is that
63. That's what they should bike at.
Yeah, should bike very fast. Tyler, you've been on a hot streak. First, earlier this week, you wrote an article that I changed the title to. Did CrossFit fall into the Bud Light and Jaguar trap? I guess you talked with Souza about this, but what made you want to write this?
It was just, it's a little bit, I've been in my feels a little bit this week about the CrossFit ecosystem. And I just sort of noticed sort of an economic trend that we see, or a brand trend, which is let's market to everyone instead of our customer base. Let's not be a brand that is cool and built on a culture. Let's just sell to everybody. And it's not worked in almost every single circumstance. So Jaguar reminded me of it. The rebrand reminded me of it. I thought the rebrand was like soulless, and it just didn't have anything going for it. And then I really didn't care all that much, but it made me think of Bud Light, Carhartt, and Ford and what they did, and then how they walked it back. And then, of course, later I go to how grunge and Appalachian music was its own culture. And then it was exposed to the world, and everybody took it up because it was this thing that had its own thing. People are so interested in unique cultures, and we don't have one right now. And so that's what I wanted to say about CrossFit is like, hey, we need to take a step back and redefine ourselves and our values and reform our culture, as opposed to just sell to everybody.
Stephen Flores, when you market to everyone, you market to no one. And I think even to when you look at what CrossFit has been posting on their stories, or like those little long form clips that they've been putting out there, I've just been asking, like, who are they trying to appeal to? Right? Like, when you're telling these 5 to 7 minute stories on YouTube, are you hitting the demographic that you want to get?
And what's the demographic? There is not one right now,
Well,
right?
I don't know, right? Like it seems like you're kind of just shooting and hoping that somebody comes into a CrossFit gym. It used to be go find all the young guys who want to be badasses, you know, either military guys who are coming out of high school sports, college sports that don't have anything left, guys that do just want to be like, you know, a Greg Amundsen that you used to see.
Yeah.
And I would actually say if you watch all of those videos today, it's appealing to a 60-year-old woman.
The new ones.
The new ones, right? Like they're pretty slow. They're not in your face. There's nothing wrong with them, but I'm just not sure if that's like, is that the direction we should be catering to?
It's just mayonnaise. It's just.
Not a fan of mayonnaise. John, do you like mayonnaise?
I love mayonnaise, but it doesn't have any inherent flavor.
You kind of look like a mayonnaise lover.
That's racist.
And so are you. No, I don't like mayonnaise.
Yeah, we were edgy 15 years ago. I would say even 10 years ago. Right? And that we've lost that edge and it's turned into a vanilla market. And I want to see more. I think I agree with you. If we're just trying to grab anybody that might be listening, I don't think you're going to hit that. And I think that might be the problem with 30 million as our goal on top of it.
Well, and that was the point of talking about grunge is look at how many people picked that up so fast. Is it was cool first. Or if you want to go with a crazy example, look at Camels. I wonder how many people smoked Camels because it was cool, because their branding was cool, because they looked cool. Everybody you knew who smoked Camels was cool. That's why you started doing it.
And
they built a culture first.
Commercials, but
yeah, whatever.
You alienate your audience, your core audience when you try to appeal to everybody.
Yeah, I would say that's 100% where it is. And then last night,
oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly. Now, that, my friend, is.
And this is what blew up Tyler's phone all day long. It was probably this one here. Luka jumped in there.
It's probably
before we go down the Luka train. I was talking about this religious idea with something, and I said in that article, you need to stand behind your culture boldly. You need to make abrupt statements. You need to stand behind them. And the inspiration for that video came out of fucking thin air. I'd happened to hear that Chase sort of went hard in the paint on the last little bit of his show. And I was sitting on the couch and I was watching TV, and I just felt like I was reminded of Bruce Lee saying that you have to be deeply honest with yourself, and that it's so hard. I mean, I've talked about it before. Like, I don't think I was comfortable on this show or any show that I did until about 6 months ago. It's so hard to be honest in front of people. And
I disagree, but go ahead.
I know you. And I chose that somber song because what you have to think about what Chase had to get to say what he said right there. That's not an easy thing to say. We're in a place where you have to say that, and we're on the anniversary of my 10-year anniversary of having my L1. I got my L1 10 years ago, sometime around this time of year. And I was just thinking about, like, how do we go from where everybody was on the train, no matter what CrossFit said we were going to do it. We were all down to take down all this health misinformation and all the bullshit science that was going on. We were in for the fight. And then we've gotten to this place where Chase has to tell people, like, just leave. And you're tearing us down. And so the somber part of that music was that was not easy for Chase to say. And I know that it hurt him to say that. And that's where we are. And so it's like that video sort of hurt to have to make, because I had to acknowledge that, like, this is it right now. And that fucking blows, man. So I quit playing college football, got up to around 200 pounds, not this body weight ratio of muscle mass. And I fell into CrossFit, and it's consumed me and everything that I do. I want to make people healthy. I want to talk to you about what the real answers are. And we have that solution, but nobody's saying it anymore. And I just wanted to put something out there, and I leveraged what Chase said, because he is so eloquent, and say, like, maybe it is time for you to walk away if you don't believe in this CrossFit, making people healthy, and what we're after in that anymore. And the Open is the culmination of all of that. We had a community before, something was forming, and then the Open happened and it exploded. Mm-hmm. And now we're having to ask people to leave because they're trying to tear that down. And I don't think that that's a bad request.
It's interesting, because it's almost like you look at your article about burning it down. Burn it down! But you're approaching it from burn it down to rebuild it. I feel like those who are very unhappy with the CrossFit Games or the HQ right now of how they've handled the last 3 months just want to burn it down to then walk away. At least
that's not where we are. Yeah.
Right. Like it's you guys are saying the same verbiage, but it's a different mindset and different action of how it's moving. And I think that's what you see in a lot of these comments.
Do you remember that? You remember when Taylor said he was going to he bought a bonsai tree and Sevon shit all over him for it? Do you remember that? It was maybe a year ago. But I thought about it. My car is that way to me. It's like a bonsai tree, the Japanese trees that you see people shape and form. And CrossFit is a bit of a bonsai tree. And we went so long without pruning it. And this is the price of pruning it, is it's going to feel like shit. And you're going to have to cut off some limbs that you don't know that you need to cut off, or you don't feel good about cutting off.
Right. Yeah, it goes back to Audrey's point. Like, maybe I don't want to have the biggest, like, everybody do CrossFit. Maybe I'm happy with a select few that share everything I have. Seth, can we just hit the CrossFit reset button?
Not how it works. Can't hit the reset button on your weight, can you?
Tyler or John, what do you think about what Tyler said?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think I honestly agree with Chase wholeheartedly. And we'll get to the Luca thing after this, but there are people in the media, that all they do is harp on how terrible HQ is, how insensitive HQ is, like CrossFit is dying. That's all they write about. That they like every single article is how things are going south. It's dying. The sport should be gone. The CrossFit game should be gone. We should do something else. Then go do something else. Like I'm 100%. I agree with Chase. And even if you're like, yes, to all the names that are in the comments, y'all got it. And I also feel like when he says, if you're campaigning for athletes to like not do the Open, like the Open's a community thing. Like you're telling people you shouldn't do that. Like it's you're hurting fitness. You know what I mean? You're hurting people from having that community because you feel upset. That's not, I don't think that's right, man. I don't at all.
Well, you talk about the media talking about this. If you go backwards 2 years, Morning Chocolate was considered like the mouthpiece of CrossFit HQ. Right before I came back, they were just getting all their information from HQ, and it seemed like they were just kind of towing the line. You would hear Talking Elite Fitness kind of being pretty, like they wouldn't go out there, but if anything, they were kind of like, for the most part, agreeing with what CrossFit said. And then you have all Savan and Hiller do is shit on CrossFit. You look at Hiller's video today, he's not shitting on CrossFit.
And neither are we.
And
well,
we're not either.
Barely,
but then you look at them, and
right?
it's
And
like
the second we come out with the freaking retarded step up standard that is judged inconsistently, or a V up standard when Vellner looks perfect and he gets penalized, and somebody like, I don't know, maybe these look beautiful, so I'm sorry if they did, but like Tudor Magda makes it through as a top 2 score, and when his V ups look like trash. I don't know what your V-ups look like.
Those are his deadlifts.
Don't.
Those are Tudor's deadlifts.
Don't let that get back at me. But then we're gonna talk about HQ, right? We're judging HQ, right? Because we want it to be better. We're judging it so it can be better. These people,
like with John, when you were doing those front squats, right? You're our friend.
Yes.
But we wanted to hold you accountable because we want the best for you.
Hiller wanted the best for me. That's right.
He does.
But and he's not wrong. If he's not wrong, I'm not opening up my hips at all. I'm trying to go way too fast. And it's absolute, like, I can't say I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing to see the flip of how different voices have changed over the last 2 years, the last 6 months, honestly. It's just wild to think about. Judy Reed, I don't think Chase was even directing it at Luca. Why did Luca jump on that?
You're 100% correct, Judy. Chase is talking like we just said. Some people have said, some people in the comments, but like there's others, right? Like that is who this is directed at. That for those people, Luca, I guess, took it like it was directed at him, and it's not. Believe it or not, we don't think about Luca when we're talking about the future.
I really appreciate Sevon being like, Luca's dealing with his own stuff right now, because he is. Yeah. He goes on his story after this, posts that he's not trying to take anybody from the open or do any of that stuff, and then goes to battle in here. So I don't know which it is. Like, to me, it just is an expression that, like, yeah, like he's going through his own thing. And I have no problem with that. Like, if my brothers died, I would 100%. It would be a bad deal. Like,
I'd hate the world.
Way harder.
You'd hate the world.
Yeah, I would hate the world. And I try to tear out everything in it. But, like, Luca's doing his own thing. That's fine. I can also call out the fact that it's like, he says it's like he didn't say this, or he's not trying to tear CrossFit down or do any of that stuff, but then also goes to battle in the comments. It's wild to me.
Yeah, 104 replies. Lucas said, I watched members of CrossFit HQ leave Sheridan Hotel for an after party, joking and smiling around 2 days after my brother drowned with no one to help him. You got paid to say this. We are not the same.
And I can say this with 100% fact. CrossFit does not pay Chase to say that. Honestly, they probably would pay him not to say it. Like you don't. CrossFit doesn't want attention. They don't want attention. They want everybody to just forget everything, and then so we can move on to the future. That's what they want. They don't pay Chase to say this. All right, Chase loves CrossFit. Here's
the thing.
Better. This is all his own volition.
I know HQ runs the open, and I know you guys aren't happy with CrossFit right now. There's several ways in which I'm not okay with how HQ maneuvers and the steps that they've made in the past couple of years. 100% I get it. But you don't understand how important the open and I will say, I know Sevon doesn't love this, but like I think that the games in the competitive season are so important to the survival of the entire ecosystem. It is our statement to the rest of the world. We have our own cool thing that we run, and we get to shine every single year doing this thing. We have our own ecosystem of athletes. We have our own ecosystem of payouts. We do all of this because we care about fitness, and the open is directly tied with that. And so it's like, I get that you don't want to fund HQ, but like, it's the leader of our community. The open ties us all together.
And I will say, as much as like people like Seth think like the sport isn't needed, or like people just come in, like people don't care about the sport. I just feel like that's so off base, man. I think it's so off base. I think it's very needed. If you do away with the sport, I think CrossFit dies completely, because like the thing is, it's different. CrossFit is different.
The ideas don't die.
What separated CrossFit from everybody else is like, this is hard. You can't do this unless you want to hurt. Like it is harder than just your spin class, than F45, than Orange Theory, than going to a Globo gym and just doing your thing, then bodybuilding. It's harder. People don't like it because you're out of breath the whole time. You can't breathe. Right? The difference is you can't not want to work hard and go do a CrossFit workout. And we're losing that vibe. We're losing it. You know, people like, it's not, we're there to have a good time, but you have a community because you're all suffering there together. Just like a football team. A football team, you know, you're suffering, you're in the trenches together, right? You're going to war. And that's how I look at CrossFit classes. Like you're suffering together, and you build this bond like that. You don't get that anywhere else. No matter how much you want to dumb it down to like it's just working out, you don't get that anywhere else.
That doesn't go away if the sport dies, but the feedback mechanism,
it will not be the same. I promise it will not be the same.
No. But the feedback mechanism, the press that we get, the notoriety that we get from the sport feeds back into the affiliates. We've not leveraged it properly for the past few years, but it does do that. And you take that off the table, and they've already made a huge mistake by taking, regionals specifically, but quarterfinals, all these entry points for other athletes besides the top 1%. They've already taken a lot of that off the table. We are in a completely desperate moment right now. How we operate as a community over the next few months are more crucial than any other we've ever done before. That's why I'm so emotional at the moment, is because I see the cliff that we're headed towards, and I'm trying as hard as I can to navigate it of us off of this. And I think the pro athletes, sorry, Spin, I know you're about to say something. I know the pro athletes are like, no, like it'll all take care of itself. Like no, the athletes like John and I get other people into the gyms, and we get other people's asses in seats. It's not you. It's not. I love going to watch Tia. I loved going to watch Rich, but I care about the sport. Everybody else cares about their cousin who's going to regionals. They don't care about you.
It's kind of a good segue. Lena Richter, she was on the Peak 360 team at the games. Just because people don't sign up for the season, CrossFit season, doesn't mean they will give up on the sport or giving up on the community. I think campaigning for people to not sign up is just as fair as saying you need to save the community.
That's ridiculous. like if you think telling somebody to not sign up for a community fitness driven,
well, she didn't say that though.
Thing, that's what. No, she's saying it's the same thing. It's just as fair as
she's saying she's not signing up. That's not the issue here. It's telling others not to sign up.
No,
And
she's
not
saying it's
that,
just as fair.
No, she's saying that just because people don't sign up to the season doesn't mean they will give up the sport or give up the community. That's not the issue.
Read the next
It's
sentence.
telling others. I think campaigning for people not to sign up is just well, okay, fair.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go, Tyler. Like
My fault. I'm sorry, John.
girl, you're telling people to not do a community fitness driven event where everybody's going to be high-fiving each other at the end. Everybody's trying to do their best in 3 workouts in 3 weeks, and you want to track where you are and all this stuff, all this, the open magic, whatever it is, people getting their first bar muscle ups or PRing a lift. I'm not talking about elite people. I'm talking about your everyday gym goers that, like, what is this thing? Oh, everybody in the world does it. And then I get to do it again next year to see how much I've improved my total fitness. You're telling people to not sign up for that. That's dirty.
I think it shows maybe the disconnect of the elite athletes and the fan base. And what I mean by that is this statement to me says we don't have to, the community doesn't have to. We can tell people not to do the open. But there's still going to be a community out there because there's still a sport and there's still people doing CrossFit. Go look at how many people watched Grid, the United Grid League Championship last weekend. I think it's up to I think it's up to 18,000. They are doing mostly movements that are done by CrossFit. They have plenty of people who do the open in CrossFit. You have CrossFit Thor. Alex Smith is back in the league. Amanda Fisher has been at semifinals multiple years. People aren't going just to watch people exercise. The same thing could be said for the IF3 championship, world championship. Does anybody know that it's next weekend or the weekend? It's sometime in the next 2 weeks.
I wouldn't have known if you were to say it was tonight.
I can guarantee you nobody knows anything about that's watching this right now, except for our friends in like Sweden and Norway, because they all go to it and crush it. But nobody watches it. There's not a community around that. Right?
And the community around it, they're not great.
And I think what you have to be careful of with the World Fitness Project or anything else that pops up out of here is these can all survive. People, the sport's going to be the sport. Be careful, because I'm not convinced that people are going to just follow you to go watch you do thrusters. People watch you go do thrusters because you've done thrusters with them in the open and you're doing a sport that's part of what they do. If you're just the top 40 athletes in the world, go around the world and compete, are you going to have the same fan base? My guess is probably not.
No.
So I don't think you can just say like, hey, people are going to be doing thrusters and people just can't wait to watch people do thrusters.
Devon said, I wanted to pull it up real quick. What happens? What's the outcome if people don't sign up for the open? Year one, let's say like half or a quarter of the people sign up. That's less money. It's less money for CrossFit to do their shenanigans or whatever, initiatives they have. Year two, less people sign up because it's not cool. That's even less money for HQ to do any initiatives. Then in year three, they just stop running it. And at the moment, the only media that's coming out of HQ is sport-based. That's worthwhile. And that's even a stretch. Then you have no media because you don't have any money. You have it from the affiliates, I guess. It just dries up. I think the open is crucial to everything that we are as CrossFit. The sport, and I will say this to Seth, the sport is not CrossFit, but they are so intertwined in their relationship. They feed one another.
If there was no CrossFit Games, like it just never happened in 2007, I don't think it would still be around. You can think
Maybe.
about it. Think about it all you want. Think about it all you want. If there was no CrossFit Games, if it never happened, I don't think CrossFit would still be around. And I would 100% agree with everybody that there is no better thing. It is the greatest thing for health and fitness ever created. There is nothing that combats obesity or any illness ever than CrossFit. I would 100% agree with that.
I would not have found CrossFit if it wasn't for the CrossFit Games. That's how I came across it.
And all of your, like, it would not have grown to be the beast it is without the sport. And then people wouldn't walk in who didn't know anything about the sport. Does that make sense? I it'd be an interesting experiment to run. I just, we can't run it. But
I don't
like,
want to run it.
I get it. But like, if you just really think about how it blew up and when it blew up, and I get it was growing. I do not think it would have caught fire the way it did. And then I don't think it would have blown up the way it did. And then it blew up even more with Rich Froning. And then you see on ESPN, and now we're kind of like went down a little bit. Now we're stabilizing. Like, I just think every YouTube video, I used to love watching these, and maybe it's just me, but I would love to watch YouTube videos of like bodybuilders talk about CrossFit and how it's just a fad and it's going to pass. Just like, a whole bunch, there's stuff all the time that are fads and just pass. Tough Mudder, is one of them. Pretty much every sport Hunter McIntyre does. Like, it's like it gets real popular and then it kind of just goes away, right? Any one of his sports. Like that, I think that in every bodybuilder, like in 2010 or 2011, there's so many YouTube videos of those guys saying it's just going to pass. People like it. Like a bunch of soccer moms, they have no idea what it is. They have no idea. And
we want you to, Natalie.
It grew into what it was. And then it grew into what it was. And then the games came, and 2009 came, and Annie freaking Thor's daughter did her first ring muscle up, and everybody saw everybody cheering everybody. And then Rich Froning came with his bandana, not knowing how good everybody was. Oh, I'm just better than everybody. That's crazy. and then he got on ESPN, and Rich Froning's got that barrel chest that every man wants, and he looks great. And then it blows up like it does. And then you get Matt Fraser, who's like literally the fittest thing anybody's ever seen the whole entire freaking planet. And then I don't think, if none of that happens, I don't think CrossFit's still here. And that is the games. That's the sport. So think about that, Seth. Because he's like
within 3 years,
the most anti-sport person there is. No matter how much he wants to say he's for the sport.
Two things.
I don't buy it the way you talk. I don't buy
it. Within 3 years of opening the CrossFit Games, CrossFit was on a hockey stick trajectory. It didn't slow down. Same thing for the Open. Those are 100% predictive values of each other. I don't want to spoil a conversation I had with Seth before this show, but 100% of the negative media about CrossFit is also all due to the sport.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I think that's a problem with them more than the sport.
HQ, you mean?
Yeah. Clooney's. I don't know. Splitting into smaller competitions and leagues will actually strengthen the sport because competition breeds excellence.
It depends on what you mean. Do you mean Willie's Fitness Project and CrossFit? Because I disagree. You take the dollars that are all dedicated to the CrossFit ecosystem, and then you split them into two. That's good for nobody. And I don't want to shit on what Will's doing. I don't know that it's good or bad. But if you're talking about CrossFit regionals, then 100%, because it was amazing for the sport and it did breed excellence.
Yeah, I completely agreed with what Hiller said about regionals in his video today, right? Like, people went to regionals, they went 2 to 5 hours away and watched their affiliate members compete.
They're affiliate members.
Right. Like they're not going to go watch a super team go. Like the benefit of going to regionals was you want to watch your affiliate compete. And oh, look, there's Rich Froning on the competition floor at the Central Regional too. That's pretty cool. There's Dan Bailey. They're really fit. I guess I'll watch them a little bit more. But why did they go? Because they cared about their affiliate. It wasn't about the sport.
To hit on another Hiller point that he didn't say on that video is look at the followers that both Dan Bailey and Rich have from a social media aspect, and then compare it to athletes that exist now. It's half to a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They never reached the peak that those guys did. Why do you think that is?
Savon.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you guys have a solution to that? Do you know like how to get
John, we're not here for solutions.
Solution to what?
So like athletes cared about their affiliates. And they don't now. Half of them don't even go to one. Like I don't know the solution to that. And I think that would be incredibly helpful, but I don't know the solution.
The solution isn't the athletes. It's again, what I said, like with regionals, like we'll use that as a cliche example, but like people went and knew who these athletes were because they were going to watch their cousin. They found out who Rich was. They saw the sport that they didn't know about. And then they started falling in love with it because they happened to see these people while they were there watching someone else. It is fostering the lower level competition. We've done nothing but degrade it in the United States for the past 10 years. And we brought this up today on Coffee Pods and Wads, the debate show that we had today around the whiteboard, is that, and it's funny that Lena is on her side of this argument because essentially Europe lost one regional. We lost like 10. And the United States is much larger than Europe as a whole. We have to travel so far to go to these regionals, and it's just not worth it for most people.
Yeah.
I mean, so how much it costs to go to the West Coast Classic, especially if you're like from Kansas. Like you're spending a couple $1,000s to go.
So why don't we just do that again?
I think there's an opportunity. We'll get to that in the next section. I think Sanctionals have that opportunity, but not the way that's structured right now. Well, after CrossFit,
regionals didn't make money, right? That's why they did away with it.
It probably shouldn't.
I'm saying that's why they did away with it, because it didn't make money.
It was a huge balance, or it was a huge cash flow issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was. I think I'm not sure. Maybe the ones in the States may have been okay, but I know for a fact they just bled money like crazy in like South America. Like the Brazil one, they spent way too much money. Now my guess is they did the same in Africa, maybe even Australia at the time. They were probably losing money on all of that. The States, maybe not as much. I'm not sure, but
I mean, there were 17 of them. You were going to lose money on some of them.
But think about the growth that you got. Like how many affiliates, how many ones.
Yeah, if it grew, how many people go into an affiliate? It's hard to like.
If it grew other income lines, that's 100% worth it. Yeah.
It's hard to evaluate like customer acquisition cost type deal like with that because you're losing money to get money over here. But yeah, maybe that's the answer. You just know you're going to lose money and then believe that it's going to grow.
The games in the sport has 100% always been a marketing ploy, and it always should be. That's what it is. And that's okay. We can still be happy with the sport, but it's a marketing ploy.
Yeah. People say they can't hear me. Is it better now? I don't know.
I think you're fine. I think we're a little louder, but it's not bad.
A week after CrossFit released its action steps for following the investigation, the PFA is back. John's favorite topic this afternoon. The PFA they're not mad. They're just disappointed, John, with CrossFit's lack of transparency of their investigation and dissatisfied by their next steps. They go on. The PFA represents over 100 of the best elite individual athletes in the sport. This independent representation is the best method of champion athlete rights, and we remain committed to this mission. At this time, we can't represent all athletes from every division, although we do believe that athletes' needs differ by degree, not kind. So create your own PFAA if you want to. In light of CrossFit's announcements regarding safety and procedural changes in the 2025 CrossFit Games season, the PFAA supports athletes who choose not to compete in the CrossFit Games.
John, try not to breathe directly into the mic.
Some athletes,
You know what?
He's falling
The next 5 minutes, I'm just gonna mute myself and let you guys hash this PFA nonsense out. Okay.
so some athletes,
John hard.
So some athletes may not compete, and hey, the PFA will support you somehow. Some athletes may choose to compete in the games, and the PFA is around just to support professional athletes and will continue to support those who do compete in the CrossFit Games season. And some athletes may go hang out with Willie in his fitness project. And the PFA is engaged with the broader ecosystem of functional fitness competitions to expand opportunities for those athletes competing there. Our demands were made with the hope of guiding the sport of CrossFit toward a stronger future. While they chose not to meet them, we remain committed to building unity among athletes and finding ways to create meaningful change together. We continue to believe in the huge benefit a healthy and successful elite sport offers the broader CrossFit community.
Let's analyze this on a psychological level. The demands post reads quite a bit different. Now, it's a demands post, so I'll give you that one.
Sure.
But to me, the language of this reads totally different than this one. This one reads like Brent to me. Hey, guys, we're here for you. The first one does not sound like Brent.
So who wrote the first one?
Don't know. Could be David. Could be anybody.
I don't.
They said we support you, athletes. That's what they said.
Okay. What are they doing?
What's Reagan's famous saying? I'm from the government, and I'm here to help you.
Yeah. All right. So you're not competing in the game season. I don't know what there is to support. You're not competing. You compete in the game season. We'll support you. I don't know how, if CrossFit's not going to work with them. And then they go on to other competitions. I could see them working with those. Like Willie may sign up for the PFAA. We know that Loud and Live, Wadapalooza, Tier Wadapalooza works with the PFAA. Is this a nothing burger, Tyler?
It is funny that it happened not long after my post went up and was causing all its shit.
You think they were trying to take the heat off of you?
Or that they were trying to use this moment of people talking about it to say, hey, we're right here to support
all
the athletes.
They didn't write this in 21 hours.
No. But let me take credit for something, okay, Spin? It's basically a nothing burger. It says we're here and we're here to help, to support.
I was expecting them to come out stronger with something. Do you think there's something coming out beyond this, or is this where they're at?
Don't you think if they had, so they did say that athletes are going to step away, veto the games. Some athletes may be positioned to veto the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
That sounds like a mild, I'm reaching here a little bit, a mild threat. It's the most mild. Barely taste it. But besides that, I would expect this to be the point in which you would start to say, okay, You didn't do what we wanted. Now we're going to implement our sanctions on that, or consequences.
I think it points to the fact that nobody can agree on one single stance.
You mean the representatives aren't getting people to agree?
Like it goes back to every athlete has their own thoughts and opinions and ways they think the direction should go. And you're not going to get a wide scale. Like if the PFAA comes out and the board says, we elite athletes are boycotting the sport. Not everybody's going to boycott the sport that went to the games last year. I'd put money on Colton's going back to the games. I'd put money on Austin Hatfield's going back to the games. Like they've not told me that's what they're doing, but I don't think they're going to let. I don't think they're going to let the PFAA speak for them and make their decision. Like you even listen to Carolyn Lambre on Talking Elite Fitness this week. I mean, maybe she has a decision, but the way that she spoke, it was like, well, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do. And it sounded like it came down to a prize purse. Right? Like it was like, we're athletes. There you go. See? Like there was discussion about, well, there's a prize purse and we don't have we're not athletes forever. Right? Like what if CrossFit did come out and it wasn't a $325,000 check? It was a $450,000 check because they put the entire whatever open prize money to first place or to the games prize purse.
It's actually it's 525.
525. Okay.
That's they told me. Boss told me.
Oh, boss. Okay. I know he calls you regularly. So
525.
It is very much like Brent to say, wait, we're going to wait for more information. That was the general sentiment after we got off of Coffee Pods and Wads, or towards the end. It was that we still don't know a lot of factors. So fair enough. But like the season's coming. If you're going to make demands or implement consequences, getting pretty close to time.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm not obviously not competing, but I don't know. Do you need more information? Like what more information do you want?
How many semifinals there's going to be, in-person semifinals, where they're going to be at, how many seats they get, like basically the entire competitive season if you're in the 1%.
Yeah, but if I'm Jeff Adler, I know I can qualify straight out of the semifinal. Like online competitions in your gym, you're going to make it.
Right.
But I mean, listen to what Saxon Panchik said on Savan this week. It was like, what if there wasn't a prize purse? What if it was small again? How many athletes would still compete? How many people would come back and do it? Right? Like, and that kind of goes to what Carolyn was saying.
It also goes into why you would want to lobby for people to not do the open, so that you make sure that the prize pool is small.
True. It is true. Yeah, I don't know what their end goal is. If this is what all they got, then what they said about how they had to have a plan B or what they're working on, I don't think it's there.
No plan B, in that we haven't thought of one.
And maybe we'll find out next week when Patty V is on Pedro's show. It's supposed to be on Thursday, but hopefully not later. I think I missed a chat from Papa Young. Here it is. $9.99. Thank you, Larry. What I find hilarious, Masters are half the open. None of the men are saying boycott. Yet CrossFit can't see the forest because of the trees.
To be fair, it's because half of the men popped. I don't know if he'll like that or not like that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The Masters does make up half the open, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that were growing. Like those are the divisions that are growing. The teenagers have not been. The open is kind of flatlined,
which is alarming.
Right. That goes back to who are you marketing to? Like, are you bringing in the 60-year-old grandmother, or are you marketing to 20-year-olds who are potentially going to be in a CrossFit gym for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years?
They want to be where that skibbity Riz is.
What has okay?
Damn it! I thought I was gonna break John with that one.
We're gonna act like that didn't happen. Have they ever tried marketing like the BA Masters people? Not the grandpa getting to cleaner drugs off the couch. That's not what I'm talking about. But like Kevin Keister doing a backflip off of a box. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
there are some really BA Masters people doing some crazy stuff. And I don't remember CrossFit ever marketing those people. I actually think that would sell a lot. Because, and I know y'all are like anti, like they're going to be in it for 10 years. Right. But if that's the place that's growing, you know what I mean? You might as well try to hit them hard.
I think it's not growing. I don't think the younger demographic is growing because if you look at the media that's going out there, a 20-year-old does not want to watch a 60-year-old grandmother say, "Oh, I can carry my grandbaby around."
Yeah, but I'm saying like post the BA ones, not just the ones that are doing grandma stuff. Like post the 72-year-old doing the legless rope climb. You know how many people can do a legless rope climb? How many women can do a legless rope climb? It's not very many. Post the 72-year-old.
I don't think it'll resonate with the 20-year-olds.
Maybe not the 20-year-old, but if that's the population that's growing, why would you not hammer it?
Well, I think your assumption is that they can only market to one, and that's not true. Yeah, okay, John. Like,
or post the 20-year-old doing a legless rope climb next to the 72-year-old doing a legless rope climb.
Post the 60-year-old doing a legless rope climb on Facebook because that's where everybody that's
there you go
on Facebook.
There you go.
Post
there you go.
The
and post
22-year-old
and post Trista on Instagram. Yeah.
Or on TikTok. Yeah.
TikTok's past mine. We need a 30-year-old. We need to hit the middle for Instagram.
You're on Instagram, yes.
So put Trista on TikTok, and then we're gonna put who we rocking with for my demographic.
Just go back to Frony. Just go back to
Jason Grubb.
No, guys, I'm the youngest one on this podcast. What are y'all talking about? No, I'm trying to think who would be a good representative of the 30-year-old right at 30.
Oh, at 30?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think the Coltons, the
Maybe.
Hatfields of the world are
Hatfields
are with those guys.
Yeah. Maybe Annie.
Like Ariel's perfect for
Ariel's perfect. Ariel's
mothers.
Perfect. Yeah,
right?
Ariel's amazing. Yeah. Ricky, that was a good call. Ricky, the Rickies of the world. Ricky, Roman, yeah. I guess all my guys are just the best guys. You're
really even Rich still. Like Rich is only what 30.
Rich gets enough publicity, man. Everybody's on Rich.
Hell, use it, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. You're telling me this would not resonate with people, okay? If you had Ariel, Trista, and then I forget her name. Is it Patty McGill? Is that the girl that could do the legless rope climb? That's super old. You have them, all three of them, like just how we got a 3-person camera, and then do a legless rope climb or something, and then being like CrossFit, BA at all ages, or just something like that. You telling me that wouldn't fly? That wouldn't I think that would be amazing.
I think you should expect a call from
Jenna
from
yeah.
HQ.
Jenna's going to give you a call.
Y'all are making fun of me. 100%. That would be amazing. Okay.
Run it. Let's see.
All right, it's better than what we got going on now. What do we got going on now? Huh? We got cooler jugs, or we don't know.
We need to get Mr. Grundler out there.
Yeah.
For the 55-year-olds.
Get me and Bill doing stuff. All right, me and Bill would be great doing stuff.
That's right. Souza, how about post people that cured diabetes with CrossFit?
Mm-hmm. Totally unused potential in that. We have not used that nearly enough, as much as we claim it.
We've talked a lot about the burn it down. We're going to talk about sanctionals. That's one of the unanswered questions of the season. What do sanctionals look like? I know Tyler You've had some thoughts about what Sanctionals should look like. I think it may be different than what many thought when it first came out of, hey, we're going to host Sanctionals again.
I could do that.
You say that like I freaking might.
I could. I might have like just hidden videos ready to like compilate together. And
Please
post it
don't
out
say
there.
that you have that.
Post that out there. Well, like videos nobody knows I have. I guess that's not even better. But
Let's go and stop.
Workout videos
There we go.
of them at the gym, and just compilate them all together.
So when Sanctionals came out, I think everybody was thinking a handful of major Sanctionals across the world, Torian Pros, Syndicate Crown, French Throwdown. It sounds like Copa Sur's coming back, Renegade Games for Africa are coming back, the Far East Throwdown for Asia, it sounds like they're coming back. But I've also heard that there sounds to be like there's quite a bit of interest out there to run Sanctionals. Should we be looking for these big scale competitions, or should we maybe go smaller and have a whole bunch of small ones, Tyler?
Is anybody called dibs? Dibs. I win.
You want
Idiots. I would.
What just happened? I feel like
everybody knows the rule.
I didn't think I didn't think that I was like zooming out or anything, but I was like, I'm with it in the conversation, and then it felt like I was like blanking out for like 20 seconds.
Everybody knows that the rules are dibs. If you call dibs, you get it. So sorry, everybody.
That's your idea?
Emailed CrossFit. Yeah. Yeah, we talked a lot about I think the great thing that came out in Coffee Pods and Wine. So we talked about this. Where do you put Sanctionals? What do you do? The great thing that came out is that all three of us from different regions, so Con and Oceania, Lucy over in Europe, and then the United States market, we all had different answers. And I don't really think you do anything with Torian besides put more money into it. They're freaking running it perfect. Like nobody has any qualms with Torian. They're off there living in their own world, doing their thing, and it's great. And then Lucy was like, put one more semifinal in Europe. Cool. I'm good with that. They originally had 2 regionals back when we actually had regionals.
They need
for the United States, no one's going. So we got to kind of take a paddle on the ass on this one. And that's why I said that we either go to Crash and we televise the shit out of it, or we do it at something like Mayhem. And same thing there. You make it super exclusive. You don't allow a ton of people in, kind of do what they did at Proven with the open announcement this year. You kind of turn it back into that, where it's small and people really want to go to those smaller events and be super intimate with the whole thing. The only caveat that I would put with that, and we don't have to touch this right now, is then you have to start fostering the lower level competition in the United States, because that's what's drying up. But that's a whole different thing.
Would you rather have, I think I know the answer, 7 large Sanctionals, each get 2 spots, or would you rather see 14 smaller ones, but maybe not have the broadcast, like it's smaller, some of them don't have it at all across the world?
I would rather.
You mean in total?
We're saying in total. Like, would you rather have 7 that get 2 each, right? And they're kind of like the semifinals last year, or would you rather have 14 smaller ones that get 1 each?
So I think Africa, Asia, South America get 1 no matter what, and then you have the remaining 4, depending on the strength of field, would get 3 or 2. And I'm in favor of the 7 bigger ones where we get to see it. I mean, they're individual, different programming, whatever, it's fine. But we get to see everything. It gives us stuff to talk about. They're all scheduled at different times. You know what I mean? Rather than 14 small ones where there's 6 of them that we don't even know anything until it's over. And I don't like, somebody can game what sanctional they go to then, and then like they just got in because nobody else good was there. I don't like that. You know what I mean? I want you to have to beat somebody to get there. Right. That's
On
by
that
I get
note-
it. I get it. If y'all are in favor of the other one, I'm in favor of 7 bigger ones for that reason.
On that note, how alarming to you is it that they haven't released this? We have to deal with the issue of can athletes go to different regions for different semifinals?
Yes,
Those are details that we need to know.
Well, what Dave said is they
It's
have the ability
huge.
to go to multiple ones. So it sounds like exactly like it was in 2019. Go back, go everywhere. The tricky part is, how do you qualify for these last minute? That's another big question.
Do you have a separate qualifier, or is the open the qualifier?
We don't know. And that's the thing is, like, the French Throwdown in 3 days on the December 1st, they have registration opens. And I don't know if French Throwdown is part of the sanctional season. I don't know if they'll open up everything for the community event except for the elite. We don't know. The French Throwdown may not even be part of it. We don't know. It feels like it will be, but we just don't know. And it's one of the things that I find interesting is there's all this talk about seasons and leagues and all this stuff and the PGA Tour, and people travel all over the place. The PGA Tour, except for the British Open, is in the States.
Whoops.
Like, there's other golf, like there's a European tour, there's an Asian tour, there's an African tour. I think there might be even an Australian one, but they don't fly all, they don't go all around. Like, Europeans have the most, like, if they really want to make the most money, they come over here and play on the PGA Tour. They basically they do what Tia did, right? They move over here and they compete here. They're not flying all over the world, let alone a sport that doesn't have a whole lot of prize money in it. Right? Like, I think tennis might be the only one that does that. But my guess is we're only looking at the 4 majors where they go across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm sure they do smaller tours, like outside of the top elite. They're just staying in their country. So do you think, I mean, should athletes be flying all over the world to try to compete in all these freaking sanctionals or any other Willys League or anything else? Like, it seems unsustainable.
It is unsustainable. That was the major complaint about the sanctional system that we had in the first. Is like, oh man, like, you just never get a break. We're going here, going here. Now you can make the argument, well, you chose to go to all those things. Yep, that's true. But like, yeah, agreed. Like, it being majorly based in the United States is a huge aspect of this.
Right. If you said, if you want to be an elite CrossFitter, come to the States, I guarantee we could find a whole bunch of competitions that would host things, and athletes could fly all over the country and do it.
Probably be more money in it to a degree, too.
Right. But making athletes go across the world to compete, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. I lean towards these. I think 7's almost too much. Like, the way I would do it is 2 in Europe, 2 here, and Torian, that's 5. And then, like, man, this is going to sound terrible, but like South America and Asia can both have one, but we don't really televise
it. If Renegade and Copa Sur and Far East
You can
Throwdown
have
is willing
them.
to do it, like, let them do it.
Sure. Are you going to put the time and the focus into those two?
I don't think CrossFit has anything to do with it.
Right.
Yeah,
Fair
it's,
enough.
it's free reign.
Fair enough. Then run it.
All right. So,
If you want it, you got it.
all right. Last minute. I mean, this is the last minute, though. Should the Open be the one what qualifies you to these competitions? Like, how, if you were trying to structure this,
I would say no.
How would you do this? Like, how would you say
Well, it's not,
what
though.
sanctionals can you go to?
It's not, though.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Sorry. I just wanted to point out that it's not the online semifinal is.
No. He's
How do
saying
we
to
know?
the sanctionals, not the games.
To the sanctionals. How would you
the other
qualify a
sanctional.
field for all of these different sanctionals?
So I assume, and we don't know because they haven't told us anything, but I would assume that everybody has to do the online semifinals. And in order to qualify for the remainder of the season, if you want to do the in-person semifinals, you don't have to do that. Is that not the...
sanctionals-
No.
the
So
sanctionals
only
started-
the top 1% go to online semifinals.
But the sanctionals began in April.
Oh, so
Online semifinals are in May.
Online semifinals is only for the top 1%, but
So
anybody
they're
can
gonna
do the
do their own
qualifier and
qualifiers.
qualify. Correct. Now, what Spin is saying, what we think, but what Spin is saying, should the Open qualify you to these sanctionals, or should they have their own qualifier? I think they should have their own qualifier. I think, like,
Yeah.
if you want to do more than one, then you gotta have a sucky weekend more than once. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to do more than one, you got to deal with the hassle of doing them all. Like, and I think that's fair. If you want to have a whole bunch, everybody has their own qualifier. They all got their own like skew towards whatever they like to do, right? And you could just get a raw deal in the Open. Like, if the Open is just 4 workouts that had movements you were really bad at, and then somebody else you were really good at, and you just got really lucky. I don't think that's right? So I think they all should have their own qualifiers, and then the Open qualifies you to online semifinals, and that's the big one, right? That's the one where you get the top or you can immediately get to the games, and that's like the top 20, top 20, 15, 20, whatever they said.
Yeah.
And then the rest are the sanctionals if, online semifinals wasn't your gig. And that's the, Yellow Hostess of the world, the Brent Fikowskis of the world that should make the games and will make the games in a live setting. But online is not exactly, it never favors them, right? I actually think it's, as far as like getting the right people to the games, I don't think it's bad at all. Now, as far as appealing to the masses, you destroy people like me and Tyler. Everybody that's good at CrossFit, that's pretty fit, but you're not the fittest in the world. And that is a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Most people.
Everybody that wants to strive towards that, like, does CrossFit and wants to strive towards something, though, every one of those people, not just going to get your workout in, but that just wants to strive towards something, that wants to be better than what they were yesterday. All of those people have no hope. What do they look forward to?
Gridley.
Yeah, those are very few people with very few talents there, Brian. But but you know what I'm saying? Like, it destroys anything that they have to look forward to, and I don't like that. I essentially, when this came out, I told my girls, I was like, well, I think I'm going to make it a run at cleaning 405, and I was like, there's no point in me getting fitter. Like, I'm not going to be top 1%. Maybe I can get close if I just killed but chances aren't great, right? So I think I might just try to get as freaky as I can get, right? And but like, Tyler's in the same boat, and there's a lot of people in that range. Top 1% is 1,500 people. You know what I mean? That's it in the whole world. Top 1,500.
There
right?
were like 3,600 that competed in regionals back in 2014.
On top of that, I think it's incredibly important that the Open is like the Open of old, or even cranked up a notch. Because
I don't think it will be.
If
it has to be.
It won't. It won't.
Then why would I even do it?
Because
if you're testing for the 1%,
you got the Community Cup.
If you're testing for the 1%, like, I think there are people that don't make that 1%. If it's like how it is.
No, nobody that went to the games would fall outside of that if they didn't want to. It's the top 1,700 men in the world.
Dude.
Top 1,300 women. There's no.
But it's not a complete fitness test, though. And if it's not,
it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if it's not like any better than what it was last year, it's just Cardio City, and then that's the people like that's not a true top 1%, is what I'm saying. I get the fittest of the world will pass. I get that. But it's almost like the top 10% used to be, but like the levels like up. Does that make sense? Like, the top 10%, I'm probably going to make the top 10% no matter what the test is. But it's not a true top 10% if Tyler's beating me in the Open and then we go to quarterfinals and he's not close to me, right? Like, that's not a true, because the Open just tested cardio. You see what I'm saying? And now you make it go even higher, top 1%. I just think it's important to make it a good test and not just Cardio City.
It is a good test within itself, Like for normal people, for the community, it's
But
fine.
you're testing for the top 1%. I'm not saying make it hard. I'm not saying make it not doable. But like what the Open was in 2015, what it was in 2017. That's what I'm saying.
That was a different thing, though.
You think that's too hard for people nowadays? We're less fit than we were then.
Well, we do have
No.
foundations and scaled and everything else now.
I don't think it is too hard. I'm just saying it's not what they're going for or worried about anymore.
Yeah, no, I think they are striving to meet the community where it is.
I think
and
less
then just
people will
let
do the Open
top
then.
1%.
I think less
go
people
through.
do the Open then because I think
Why, though?
I think people like me won't do it.
Why?
Why would they?
Because you want to test yourself every year and see how much fitness
It's 3
you
cardio.
gain.
No, but it's not fitness I've gained. It's 3 cardio workouts. It is. It's truth. The Open does not test strength, and then it barely tests gymnastics last year.
The Open last year didn't. Now, I
You
don't
just told me it's not going to be no different. You just told me it's
Right.
not going to be no different.
different in that it's not 5 weeks. I don't think we're ever going to go back to the 5-week Open. I think a 3-week Open is fine. I think that they did focus a lot on the cardio aspect of or the aerobic aspect of CrossFit last year, but I don't think that they'll continue to do that. I think it is a fine test within itself if they program it correctly.
I think if we do 2017 Open versus 2024 Open, like everybody that did it just does both of them, it's a wildly different leaderboard up and down through it. Wildly different.
Maybe.
100%.
Maybe. I think the season.
Me and Spin were next to each other after the first 2 workouts. Get out of here, Tyler.
That's true. I was.
Like, and Spin, you know this.
there
like,
are
you-
a lot
you-
of
you-
what
you
ifs in
know
this
this.
premise that I'm having problems
All right,
with.
let's do the 2017 Open and see what happens. I bet you're not close
Okay.
to me. You know what I mean? I bet we're not even close to each other.
That's not the point.
That's the point I'm saying. Like, it's not a well-rounded test what it is now. It's just a cardio test.
To me, after I think the top 0.5% should be ranked correctly. After that, if you're within 10%, like if you're within 5% of where you should be, that's fine.
I think if you want the Open to be more important, it should test everything and not just cardio.
but I don't.
When it
Yeah,
was top
John,
10%,
but you're
I
talking
didn't-
about last year's Open.
But if we talk,
And
if
I'm
we go
not-
back to March, everybody liked the Open workouts. I know you didn't
Yeah.
because it wasn't heavy enough for you, but everybody thought.
Dude,
that
it's a 185-pound deadlift spin. It's not about me. I'm not
no.
even saying it's about me.
But everybody said these 3 workouts were good for the community and for the elite athletes. The top at this time last year's top 25%, it sent close enough. If you were barely making the top 25%, like you have some fitness holes.
And then you
The
had
problem is
quarterfinals.
you're combining that, which is fine, with only 1% going. So now if you're the 92nd percentile, where do you go?
To the house.
Right? Like,
Well, can you?
It-
Do we
it's-
know if you can go to the sanctioned events? Do we know if that's allowed? If you do their qualifier and you do well in that, not in the Open.
but again, there's no
Hold on.
sanctional. There's
You
no
people
sanctional
that are
that
saying I
Tyler
have
or
a
John.
strength bias. You're saying I have a strength bias. I'm saying the Open of old. I'm saying a well-rounded test. The Open now is not what it was before. It was way better as far as a test.
We had 5 weeks.
Before.
We had 5 weeks.
I think you could do that in 3 weeks, but they didn't last year, and I don't think they're
They'll
going to
do it
this
in
year.
one.
I don't think they will. But I think to your point though, John, like, do you want to do, if you don't enjoy that, right? If you don't enjoy doing burpees over a dumbbell and dumbbell snatches and 185-pound deadlifts and a bunch of rowing and double unders, and you don't qualify for anything other than to sign up again for a community cup where you compete against your level, your top 10%, your percentile. Do you sign up?
John doesn't. I think John's a bad person to ask that question.
But if the top 10% got to go to quarterfinals or top 10% got to advance to a community cup, John signs up every time.
Are you going to do the community cup, John?
I don't think we know what it means.
I mean, I'll do the
No
open.
one knows what it means.
I'll do the open, but I'm not gonna do the community cup. Probably not. No.
Why?
There's prizes
For what?
for your level. I don't know. I have no idea. I just don't, I guess from a participation standpoint, like that's my only concern about cutting it down to the 1% is a bunch of people. I mean, they went one direction. They went from 10% to 25%. We thought it was too much, but it was get more people involved, get more people trying to move to that next level. And then the next year, snap, it's 1%.
Hey, anybody that didn't beat me in quarterfinals, you cannot talk in the comments one bit.
Yeah, Grant.
I mean, I don't think any of them did. If they're in the comments, they didn't. They don't care if they're in the comments. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I hope Sanctionals are.
And Seth, I didn't say I'm not going to sign up for the Open. I said there's a lot of people like me that wouldn't.
Larry Young. Why wouldn't you Justine's it?
Yeah, if you're going to comment, you gotta make it right.
Justine's it for High Rocks if they just test JRHS strength.
Junior high school.
Oh. Go to High Rocks. Everybody's going to High Rocks. It's fun.
Just do? Maybe? I don't know.
You guys want to go play some blind rankings?
Yeah.
All right. Let me get this thing all fired up here. Here we go.
I know my head gets larger as I get closer to the camera. That's how cameras work.
It is. All right. Blind rankings before we head off for some Thanksgiving meals. If you're out here out of the United States, well, deal with it. First off, the topic is Thanksgiving eats. You're going to be ranking your favorite Thanksgiving foods.
I'm a bad person to ask this.
Oh, come on, John.
I have a disease.
John's mad the enchiladas aren't on the list automatically.
No, I'm not mad. I just know that. I'm just saying.
You're not going to be.
No, they're not
there.
Not
the traditional.
No, I'll participate. I'm just a.
What do you
person.
have for Thanksgiving, John?
Exactly what you just said.
They're
tacos. They're like an enchilada taco thing.
It's a Mexican Thanksgiving for
I'm having a
John.
Bison brisket.
Oh, is that on the list? That sounds like it should be number one.
Yeah.
In recent years, I have lobbied against traditional Thanksgiving meals. I kind of just want like steak.
Yeah. I think turkey's overrated, but we'll find out what you guys think. First one, turkey.
I would say
4.
two. Oh, dang! I was gonna say 2.
I only eat the legs.
It's the It's the thing.
I know, and I don't get why it's the thing. It's a staple. You have to have it. That's why I didn't put it at 5. But
I mean, I'll rock with you.
I'll concede to 3. I think 3 is good.
I'm not arguing with you.
Does anybody really like turkey?
I didn't know it was such a thing that people hated. I thought people liked turkey.
I don't think anybody really likes it.
All the other things are better. It's a gluttonous holiday, and so the sides are the stars of the show for me.
Yeah, I don't know how often we actually, when we were eating turkey, you eat all the sides and then you're just left with I guess I'll have a turkey leg. Sure. Next.
Have you ever went to like a Renaissance fair and bought a turkey leg?
Yeah, those hit different though.
They're like $18 for one turkey leg, but they're the biggest turkey leg you've ever seen in your life. Like you're full the whole day.
I think those are dosed with MSG or something because they hit way different than turkey at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 100%. All right, next one. Pumpkin pie.
5.
What is your reason?
I hate pumpkin pie.
I think a lot of people like pumpkin pie.
I understand. This is my list, not their list.
I think we go 3. I think we meet in the middle.
Where were you gonna put it? 2?
I don't eat any of this stuff. Let's.
This is not
You'll
McDonald's.
go to McDonald's, but you won't eat pumpkin
I
pie.
just told you what I was gonna eat. It's not McDonald's.
Put it at number 1 to Spike John's.
No, it's fine.
All right, we'll see what's left. Stuffing.
2.
5. I could give a shit less about the
You
stuffing.
called all this stuff 5. You hate all this food. You've said 5 for all this stuff.
And
Turkey just got the grace because it's Thanksgiving. That's the thing.
cheese is mandatory.
All right, put it at 5. I just want something to come up that you don't like. So
It's
you put it
something
at
better. There are so many things better than stuffing.
not okay.
We'll find
I
out.
don't even like
He's
pumpkin pie.
just waiting on ham to come out. Once ham comes out,
He's gonna be
number
waiting.
1.
He's gonna be waiting.
Tyler doesn't like anything except steak.
Cranberry sauce.
So, yeah, there you go. You like that? I hope you eat it. I hope it tastes good. You like that,
Straight
don't you?
out of the can.
Yeah, that would have been 5, wouldn't it?
2.
Yeah. I hope that felt good. I want to see you
think-
eat some cranberry sauce.
I don't think I've had cranberry sauce in over 10 years.
You're about to enjoy
I
it.
will eat some for the sake of the show here.
I think next show Tyler's got to eat cranberry sauce on the show.
I'll film myself eating cranberry sauce and tag spin.
Please do. It won't get as much engagement as your last reel, but
Probably not.
Go for it. And the
I
last
hope
one,
it does.
some mashed potatoes.
Okay, I think a lot of people would be okay with that one.
Number 1, yeah, that's good. You can do
I
a
think-
lot with mashed potatoes. You can put cheese in mashed potatoes. You can put butter in mashed potatoes. You can put more cheese in mashed potatoes.
I think cranberry sauce should be at 5, and then everything else pushed up 1.
I'm a bit offended cream corn is not on this list or an option.
That's what he was waiting on. Cream corn.
The whole time. That's
Some
it.
au gratin potatoes.
You remind me of the guy off The Longest Yard.
Can of corn.
Yeah, can of corn.
Yeah.
I'll be all right. Can of corn. Give me a can of corn. I'll be all right.
Joey
All right.
Diaz.
Are we about to hop off here?
We are.
All right, guys. Before you forget, don't wait and get yourself a Grinch. Okay, you can get a heart Grinch or the Santa Claus Grinch, whichever one you want. Just go to Mustard Seed Crochet. It's on my Instagram in the little link tree.
There it is. Yeah. Go check out Tyler's post. Go defend him or something.
And happy Thanksgiving. We will be on Friday for Betting with the Boys. We're giving our locks and sports betting things of what we're doing that week.
Ooh, that'll be good. I'll get to drive to Eastern Kentucky tomorrow and listen to the Barstool and get my picks ready.
Get all of it ready.
Get them ready. I picked college football for the
Did
first
you guys
time.
win money though? Did you win your bets?
I won half of them.
So honestly, Tyler did amazing, except the one pick that he was like all
My
about.
lock.
So the lock of the week, the one that's gonna happen, like failed amazingly. Like was the worst pick of all time. And then after that, everything
was
he called
pretty
was
good.
right. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was probably the best week he's ever had. If it wasn't for that one that effed him really
Yeah.
hard. And then I won all my games, but the money lines fell through on a couple of them. My lock was the only one that hit. So that's 1-0 because we're keeping track.
At least you got that going for
We're
you.
keeping track of locks, right?
Yeah.
Jason, the number 1 team in the country, lost. So he bet on the number 1 team in the country. Didn't happen for him for college basketball. So, yeah. So
Betting on basketball's rough. So,
yeah, it is, man. I stick to football.
They will be answering this question on Friday. The over/under on Chase's CrossFit employment. Stay tuned. Friday night.
# uncancelable.
That's right. So yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
See you next week.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.